Do you feel overworked, busy, frustrated, and undervalued at your job? Maybe you deserve a raise or a promotion, but you can't seem to get the recognition you deserve. Well, there's a major issue that so many people fall into, and it ultimately kills their hopes of receiving that raise, promotion, or even getting the recognition that they crave. And today we're going to cover what is that major issue, and how can we avoid falling into the same trap that so many people fall into. One complaint that I've heard from coworkers, employees, friends, family, and people that I've advised over the years is that they are busy. They're too busy. They have so much work that they can't take a day off. They're going hard from the time they clock in to the time they clock out. Over time, this frustration builds, and it becomes time to have that tough conversation with your boss. Maybe it's a raise, maybe there's a new promotion opportunity, or maybe you just want a little more recognition for all of the work that you do. And ultimately, nothing happens. This scenario has been relayed to me countless times, and unfortunately, it will continue to happen for most people. Why is it that hardworking employees who are swamped at work can't get their leadership to take action and give them a raise, give them that promotion opportunity, or even just recognize the hard work that they do? Well, it boils down to understanding the employer-employee relationship and the difference in how each look at this scenario. Employees view things from a first-person perspective. It's their job, their work, and they are the ones that are busy. Employers see a data analyst who does X, Y, and Z, and that person is saying that they are busy. The divide revolves around two different ideas: workload versus duty and responsibilities. Or you could almost say employee versus job. How we explain our situation and the approach that we take will ultimately impact how much weight our employers give to our sales pitch. In all reality, jobs are created and filled with the expectation that those individuals will be busy. Otherwise, they wouldn't need the job. Maybe they would hire someone part-time, or maybe they would hire someone on an as-needed basis. So how do companies create jobs, and why do they pay what they pay? This will be critical to understanding why companies don't see the value of you being busy quite like you see the value of you being busy. The process is pretty simple, but it doesn't seem to be very understood by employees. This is not something that's really taught in schools, and I don't think most people really even think about it. Most people think of compensation in terms of, this is what I get paid for the work that I do. Whereas from a company's perspective, there's a lot of work that goes into deciding pay before an employee is even considered. Companies start with identifying a need within the organization. This could be a new department, a new service line, or a new product that requires an entire group of new employees. Other times it may be one specific job that they've identified. For example, maybe they need someone to come in and process invoices and follow up on payments that are owed to the organization. They would take these tasks and begin identifying potential jobs that would encompass these tasks. For example, let's say they decide we need a collections specialist. Odds are that a collections specialist is a pretty common job, and that job probably, generally speaking, does in fact do these tasks that the company wants them to do. So after they've identified the job and they've created that job, now we have to go out and we have to price that job. To price a job, the company will use market data, which is basically salary information and benefit information provided by other companies to different survey companies, so that employers know where, on average, people are getting paid for certain jobs. This is where company size, location, what type of company it is, can all have an impact. Larger companies with an array of different locations may use national comparisons to price a job. In other words, the collection specialist would be paid maybe where the national average is, whereas local organizations may use regional, such as the Southeast, or state data like Montana. Other companies may use industry-specific. If you're in healthcare or finance, there's a good chance that pay is going to be based on jobs similar to yours within healthcare organizations or within financial organizations. Through this method, they determine the range for that job. The range may be stated clearly, or the range may be in theory only. Let's assume they decide the collection specialist should have a minimum rate of $18 an hour and a maximum of $34 an hour. Now, what they end up paying you is based on the previous research on the job in conjunction with your personal qualifications. In this case, you are going to make at least $18 an hour just based on getting the job. So maybe with your experience and certifications, you get hired on at $24 an hour. In this example, you would have added $6 an hour to the base hourly rate for that job. So how does this play into our busy mindset, and why is this a problem? The problem is that the company is expecting you to be busy. They've hired you into a common job, and comparatively speaking, they are paying you appropriately. For most companies to consider a raise, promotion, or any other efforts above and beyond the norm, they will need some reasons to do so. Simply being busy will not do it. From a company perspective, being busy can mean a few things. 1, your workload is too high, which likely means you need help in the form of a coworker. They may explore hiring additional people. 2, you're not capable of performing the job. Maybe they got a bad candidate, or maybe it's a training issue. And 3, you've gone above and beyond, and what you're doing today is more than what the original job entails. Now, being smart individuals, I'm going to assume you can relatively easily identify the possibility that is actually raiseworthy. The issue that you have is that not only are you busy, but so is everyone else in the workplace. Complaining about being busy is almost an office sport. The frequency of this scenario and the number of people lobbying for a raise creates a problem for companies. Over time, it becomes the story of the boy who cried wolf, and you can no longer identify those who deserve a raise and those who are acting as the squeaky wheel. And a simple thought experiment is to think, if you truly are busy from the time you get in to the time you leave, and you're consistently working through that time, what amount of money could your company pay you that would shorten your work week from 40 hours to 38 and free up some of your time? And the obvious answer is money cannot get you time back. Time may be money, but money is most certainly not time. So how do we separate ourselves from the herd and have our concerns make an impression on our leadership? 1, we stop talking about being busy. And 2, we start highlighting our duties and responsibilities. Most people will go into these meetings with leadership and they'll say something like, I'm so busy that it's hard to even take a day off. What they should say, if it's true of course, is I was able to develop some bandwidth within my current role and took on a couple of extra duties, which has really increased the workload. Both these statements at their core may be identifying the same problem, but 90% of people will use the busy phrase. Put yourself in that 10%. When pushing for a raise, you want your leadership to see, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. I've created bandwidth and will take on additional tasks as a result of the time that I've freed up. I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. You can see the one that stands out, the one that's going to make an impression. There's nothing wrong with being busy or even venting about it. But when push comes to shove and you're pursuing a raise or a promotion, avoid hurting your chances and focus more on selling yourself rather than just complaining. Avoid the trap of being busy and sell yourself in a way that's going to be different from all the other coworkers that are pursuing that same thing. If you enjoy this content and you want to see more like this, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're notified of any upcoming videos. We'll see you guys next time.